Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw review for the 1st of March, 2021. And my gosh, I have to laugh at the show. After 32 years as a fan, after 12 years in the business, after the desire to want to be a part of promoting at some point in my life, should the finances align and I can pay people what their value and not be one of these stupid promoters who give you a handshake and a can of Coke and a piece of pizza and an opportunity. By far, I honestly think WWE is trying to commit brand suicide. I completely do not understand what they're doing. So anyway, there's a recap of the angle to set up the title match tonight. Title match tonight, of course, is Lashley and Miz, apparently. Anyway, so Phillips says tonight would be one of the biggest nights in Raw history, honestly. In almost 30 years of a show, this is not. This is false advertising. This is a lie. Anyway, so we open the show with Drew McIntyre in a promo. He said it's been a tough month for him. He's been stabbed in the back by Sheamus. He doesn't understand why. He retained the championship inside the chamber. Then he's attacked by Lashley. Then he gets cashed in by Riz. And even he says, that's right, even The Miz is the champion, and he doesn't understand it. McIntyre looks at the WrestleMania sign and contemplated what comes next. He said he planned on regaining the championship and main eventing in Mania. He said he didn't win the title at the Performance Center and defend it in the Thunderdome to be left off of Mania. I certainly hope not. Anyway, Miz and Morrison interrupt. Miz wants a proper introduction, and the ring announcer reintroduces him, and he gets fireworks. Miz said McIntyre should hold his head up high because he couldn't control what happened to him. Miz takes advantage of the situation, won the title. McIntyre invites him into the ring. Miz basically says he used the Money in the Bank briefcase the way it was meant to be used. Miz said he should only be mad at Lashley. McIntyre doesn't go for this at all. He says he's planning on getting involved in their match and told Miz he had to deal with Lashley himself. Miz calls himself the victim. Lashley threatened his well-being despite him having children. There's no choice but to make a deal with Lashley. McIntyre joined him and Morrison. Morrison said they'd be the three Migos. Anyway, MVP interrupts. He wants to know why McIntyre wasn't taking this seriously. McIntyre reminds him that he turned down MVP's offer to be involved with the Hurt Business a year ago because he didn't need anyone's help. MVP left, but not before telling Miz that his title defense would begin at 9 p.m. Sheamus interrupts. He says a few words. McIntyre goes after him. They brawl around. Officials start breaking it up. McIntyre clotheslines Sheamus over the barricade. And then Sheamus reemerges. And they go to break. Then they go for 23 minutes. McIntyre and Sheamus. Who cares? Like, honestly, does anybody really care about Sheamus 15 years later? Does anybody really want to see Drew McIntyre wasted in a 20-minute plus match with a guy that hasn't been relevant in several years? Does anybody remotely think that this is how you draw new fans, old fans, fans who care about when the product used to be good at WrestleMania season back in? Like, my intelligence is insulted. Anyway, Sheamus works over McIntyre, cuts him off, and tries broke kicking him on the apron. That leads to a break. Sheamus remains in control and uses a backbreaker for a near fall. They smack each other in the face. McIntyre comes back with clotheslines and overhead suplexes. Sheamus drops McIntyre onto the apron. McIntyre shoves him into the post. Gives him an overhead suplex on the edge of the announce table. Ouch. McIntyre breaks up the count, and then Sheamus gets suplexed onto the table. McIntyre follows up with a flying clothesline in the ring for near fall. Sheamus blocks a DDT, hits a couple offensive maneuvers. McIntyre nipped up and headbutts him. McIntyre follows up with a suplex and a belly to belly. They go to a second break, or maybe a third. Exchange punches, spine buster for a near fall. Sheamus nails a knee strike for a near fall, and then white noise also for near fall. McIntyre uses Schoolboy for a 2, followed by a Future Shock DDT. Sheamus saw Claymore kick coming, leaves the ring. They wind up with turnbuckles. McIntyre hits white noise off the middle rope for near fall. Sheamus, I guess, respects what's happened here. McIntyre uses Schoolboy and hits Future Shock DDT, killing his finish in the process. Sheamus sees the Claymore coming. Sheamus goes for the brogue kick, but McIntyre finally hits the Claymore for the win. There's no reason this should have gone 20 plus minutes. Absolutely, positively none. Other than we're lazy and we don't know how to book segment to segment, and we have too much TV time and we don't know what to do. Anyway, so Naomi's walking backstage and her music's playing in the background. She bumps into Nia Jax. Music stops. They stare at each other until a commercial. There is a timer to let us know there's a timer on the screen. So basically what WWE is doing is now telling you have to actually have a countdown to get through the show. It's that bad. Anyway, the title match is 10 minutes away. Tag team champions, women's tag team champion Nia Jax with Shayna Baszler defeats Naomi with Lana at 2:19. When did Lana and Naomi become friends? I don't even remember this. Jax is in control, hits the Samoan drop, doesn't go for the pinfall right away. Naomi basically gets chokeslammed for a pinfall, complete squash, and Nia Jax continues to be one of the most overpushed people ever that didn't deserve it. Jackson Baszler will defend against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez on NXT coming up this week. Going to the second hour, 1/3 of the way through. Rhea Ripley is coming to the brand soon. WWE Championship Match. Miz with Morrison versus Bobby Lashley with MVP. Match doesn't happen. Not yet. Lashley enters. There's a delay before Miz's music. They cut it back. Miz is in some sort of pain. Morrison checks on him. Adam Pearce shows up, demands to know why he wasn't in the ring. Miz claims to be cramping up. Pearce tries to engage him. Lashley sprints to the back, and Miz says he needs more time. Lashley appears, grabs Miz by the face, tells him he's going to beat him, and beat him for the title. Lashley left. Pearce tells him he has the championship match at 10 p.m. So we bait and switch. We promise at the end of the first hour, and well, we lie. Anyway, so Braun Strowman is out next. He told Pearce and Shane McMahon that they clearly had something against him. He's suspended for headbutting Pearce and left out of the chamber because of dumb stipulations. He says the match was awful without him. He says he has a tag match and just found out about it and doesn't know who his partner is. Strowman demands that things change around here. Shane and Pearce both enter. Shane tells him to relax. Shane could see that Strowman's upset, but he will eventually achieve his goals. Shane talks about improving on set and noted himself taking an MBA course. Who cares? Who cares that he's taking an elevated college degree at over 40? I don't know that the viewing audience cares about this. Anyway, Shane reads some conflict resolution stuff, and basically says that Strowman's stupid, not that he understand what he'd hear. He said that's what the tag match is about. He's wanted Strowman to get along with his partner, work together for the sake of WWE management. Why would Strowman agree to this? Strowman asked if Shane was his partner. Shane said Pierce is his partner. This catches Pierce by surprise. Strowman thought this is a bad idea. Shane thought this was a great idea and offered them a tag title shot. Strowman liked the tag title piece and tells Pierce not to screw up. Grabs Pierce by the jacket and smirks at him, and Shane tries to calm him down. So, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander defeat Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce to retain the tag team championships. Remember teams like, I don't know, Demolition, the Wild Samoans, the Rockers, Hart Foundation? Remember when tag team wrestling mattered? I do. Anyway, Benjamin and Alexander win in just over 3 minutes. Pierce stands on the apron in basically a business suit. Strowman runs over both opponents. Does the same on the outside. Strowman throws Alexander around. Alexander dodges and on the outside runs into the barricade. Benjamin and Alexander double team Strowman, fights him off. Benjamin power slam. Shane yells from the apron. Strowman should tag in Pierce. Strowman reluctantly tags in Pierce. Benjamin caught Pierce with a small package for the win. Hurt Business retain the championships. So then Pierce bails to the outside, screams at Shane, "I'm going to wreck this place. It's going to be on your hands." Elias and Riker approached Damian Priest and Bad Bunny in the back. Elias said that his music was inspiring, and Riker was proof. I don't even understand this. Elias thought Bad Bunny had the potential for more in his life. He said he wants to do a single together. Bad Bunny said something in Spanish to Priest, who relayed the message to Elias that he in fact said no. Now, remember when we talked about matches being too long and literally killing time for the sake of killing time? Yeah, this one. Damian Priest with Bad Bunny defeats Elias with Jackson Riker in 15 and almost a half minutes. Elias is upset about being robbed out of a Grammy nomination. Says he's about to perform, but he's interrupted by Priest and Buddy. I don't know why they're wasting Damian Priest with this Bad Bunny thing. Like, I get that they're trying to get the Latin American or Latin culture fans from all over the world. I get that. However, I don't imagine that anybody who's not in that demo is down with this Bad Bunny thing. Like, I don't know who Bad Bunny is outside of WWE. I'm sure that there are people who do. I'm sure there's lots of people who do. But are any of them watching wrestling just because Bad Bunny is here? I don't think so. Anyway, they take a commercial break. Midway through the match, Elias exchanges words with Bad Bunny and Priest. Priest clotheslines him out of the ring. Chin locks and other basic stuff. They exchange strikes. Priest uses an arm drag again. Elias yanks Priest into the top turnbuckle and takes over. And Riker hits Priest with a cheap shot as Elias distracts him. Elias applies chin lock, and Priest eventually powers out of this. Priest uses strikes and clothesline, corner splash, and a broken arrow. Elias uses the distraction of Riker. Priest uses the hit the lights for pinfall win. This was 15 minutes of wasted time. So, then we go to a long video package that opened the show. So we now are filling time with things that if you have been watching the whole show, you get to see the same thing twice. Awesome! This is a billion-dollar company, folks. They can't even fill 3 hours. Anyway, there's a commercial for Big E featuring the network. He, I guess, has some acknowledgement of his birthday. Randy Orton has a segment next. He's out with Kayla Braxton interviewing him in the back. Orton doesn't know what happened last week, but he does know that Alexa Bliss is responsible. They air a video package of that whole mess, coughing up the goo like Papa Shango. Bliss appears on screen. She giggles and calls him silly. She says she's going to bring it back, and a hooded figure appears. And there's a second version of Orton. He spoke with an altered voice directed to himself. So basically, Orton has either a doppelganger or a demon that has manifested to be his other version. No, I'm not kidding. This is actually on national television. So the other Orton began coughing off screen. Lashley defeats The Miz with John Morrison via countout. Miz retains the championship 29 seconds. Before the match starts, Miz's proposition for MVP and Lashley noted that Lashley has waited 17 years and it should happen on a bigger stage like WrestleMania. MVP ignores him and tells Rome to continue with the introductions. Miz bails from the ring, runs away, grabs the belt, and heads back. Ref counted him out. Lashley and MVP were certainly angry by this. In the back, Shane runs into MVP and Lashley, and there would be a title match tonight. MVP responds that this is BS, and he says he's got screwed twice. Shane said he would consider stripping Miz of the title and give it to Lashley. MVP asked if he would actually give it to Lashley. Shane said he'd consider it. Lashley would rather Shane find Miz and so that he could beat him up. So now this is a show long storyline. The champion is running away, not even willing to have matches. And Shane's talking about just stripping him and giving the belt away. Yay! Yay for props, like WCW 2000. Anyway, Charlotte Flair cuts a promo, says when she came back all she wanted to do was be Asuka's tag partner. She wasn't even thinking about the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka has done amazing things over the last several months. Charlotte wants to fight with her. Then she got tangled up with the Lacey Evans mess. She notes that Bianca Belair is facing Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Mania, which meant Asuka needed an opponent. Charlotte wanted to be that person. Asuka was currently at home injured. They aired a replay of Baszler kicking Asuka in the mouth and knocking a tooth out. Charlotte said Asuka would be back and she'd challenge her when she returned. Baszler and Jackson interrupt. Baszler calls Charlotte an army of one, fighting an uphill battle. Baszler takes credit, and Asuka no longer will have any teeth, and informs Charlotte there wouldn't be the road to WrestleMania she's accustomed to. Jack says that this is too bad Charlotte sent her father home because the locker room wished Charlotte was sent home herself. This is just so flat. Jax said that it would be Baszler or herself challenging Asuka. Charlotte initiated that she was the greatest of all time. Baszler gets in her face. Charlotte attacks her, but she's overwhelmed. And then there's a leg drop and they go to break. Charlotte defeats Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax in real short order. Jax tries to attack Charlotte on the outside. Charlotte sidesteps, runs into the steel steps. Remember when, using weapons meant something and it was actually an angle that you'd be laid out for? I do. Anyway, Charlotte blocks the Coquina clutch and hits the natural selection for a quick pinfall win. Shane instructs Pierce to tell Lashley that if Miz doesn't show up tonight, he would be stripped of the title. Miz has 15 minutes. Six-man tag team match that no one cares about. Riddle and Lucha House Party, which is a team I still don't understand, defeat Retribution, Mustafa Ali, and Medium in 2 minutes 19 seconds. So you're Intercontinental Champion. Remember when the Intercontinental Champion had the best match on the card for a long time? Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and all of those folks? I do. Anyway, now it's rendered to a 3-minute tag match that no one's going to care about by the end of the program, which is 20 minutes away. Mustafa Ali with Retribution defeats U.S. Champion Riddle in a non-title match. Ali drops Riddle's arm or actually, wait, I've skipped the 6-man because, well, who wouldn't? Uh, so Retribution didn't even get a um, an entrance. T-Bar immediately gives Riddle a choke slam backbreaker for near fall, works him over. Riddle drops the rope down on Mace, tags in Lince Dorado. Riddle wipes out Mace with a dive. Dorado super kicks Slapjack before tagging in Grand Metalik. Metalik hits an elbow drop and gets pinfall win. Uh, Ali challenges Riddle to a singles match, and then that goes 3 minutes in a non-title match. Ali stays on the arm. Riddle sells his elbow as if it's broken or severely damaged. Ali works over the arm with a neckbreaker for near fall. Riddle fights back, hitting a Pele kick, running forearms, exploder suplex, senton, penalty kick for near fall. So all of Riddle's main spots, well, they're not that big a deal. Riddle hits the final flush knee, gets distracted by one of the Retribution members. Riddle throws upon Mace. He gets hit in the face. Riddle's on the ropes. Ali uses a double knee strike that misses, or that it has a really ugly finish. Mustafa Ali does get the win. Miz tries to plead his case with Shane that he's sick. Miz says he deserved to go to Mania and deserved respect. Miz represents title well and wondered what kind of champion Lashley would even be. And speaking of which, after 17 years, so a decade and a half of his life comes down to a 3-minute match. Bobby Lashley with MVP defeats The Miz with John Morrison to win the WWE Championship in just over 3 minutes. Big introduction before the match. Shane enters. He announced that it'd be a lumberjack match. Why? Riddle is among the lumberjacks who has just wrestled. Again, why? Miz tries hitting Lashley with the belt. Lashley blocks it. Miz tries stalling and then punching Lashley in the face. Lashley no-sells it. Lashley hits Miz with clothesline and some shoulder tackles. Sends him flying across the ring. And then people throw Miz back in when he tries to bail out. Lashley hits a flatliner. Doesn't go for the cover. Lashley presses Miz over the ropes onto Retribution. They throw him back in. Lashley hits a spine buster in a Hurt Business, and Riddle and Jeff Hardy cheer him on. So now the baby faces are cheering a heel versus heel match, and Lashley is the lesser of the two heels. Lashley puts Miz in the Hurt Lock, and Miz taps out. Lashley poses with the title and the Mania sign. Lashley puts Miz in the Hurt Lock again and poses with the belt. It's, oh my gosh, this show is just so bad. Anyway, luckily I was able to review that in about less than 25 minutes, which means you get about 2.5 hours of your life back that you wouldn't have to waste on that mind-numbing show. We'll be back with more right after this.